Look, if you are 60 or older, you are being lied to about aging. They want you to believe that losing energy, accepting chronic pain in your knees, and starting to forget where you put your keys are just unavoidable tolls paid to time. They tell you that managing this steady decline requires complex medication cocktails and constant, expensive, frustrating procedures. I'm here to tell you that's a script written for someone else, a script we are tossing out today. As both a physician focused on internal medicine and a fitness scriptwriter who obsessively analyzes functional human mechanics, I see the truth daily in my practice. Most of the physical and cognitive decline we reflexively blame on age is actually damage caused by chronic systemic inflammation. And metabolic chaos, problems we introduce into our bodies through simple, repeatable daily mistakes in the kitchen and critically on the couch. You want health, vitality, and true longevity. You want to be strong enough to pick up your grandkids without strain, climb stairs without consciously thinking about the effort, and stay mentally sharp and decisive for decades. We absolutely do not start with complicated, expensive supplements or invasive surgical solutions. We start with the remote control for your body's operating system, and that remote control is your plate, the quality of your fuel, and your daily 10 minutes of deliberate, targeted movement. This isn't about suddenly running a marathon or subsisting solely on kale. This is about making tactical, precise, powerful changes that immediately stabilize your blood glucose, instantly lower the silent, destructive fire of inflammation, and fundamentally reverse the accelerated muscle loss, medically termed sarcopenia, that truly begins to steal our freedom after the age of 50. We are going to reclaim your energy and vitality, not in 3 months, but starting right now in the next 24 hours. Want to know the single fastest way to feel a profound, noticeable difference tomorrow morning? We radically fix your breakfast, and we change how you store your most potent health-promoting foods. The myth of the quick energy. Breakfast. For the last 40 years, we were relentlessly sold on the dangerously misleading idea of a carb-heavy breakfast, cereal, toast, muffins, large bagels, or a tall glass of processed juice as the optimal fuel source for the day. That idea is metabolically toxic, especially to the 60-plus body whose insulin sensitivity is naturally reduced. When you start your day with refined carbohydrates and low, negligible protein, you spike your blood glucose rapidly and dramatically. You feel a temporary rush, a brief, unsustainable high, but your body, which is now less efficient and slower at managing insulin, rushes to aggressively clear that sugar from your bloodstream. What inevitably follows is the crushing energy crash, the midday brain fog that steals your focus, and the underlying low-grade, inflammatory response triggered by the rapid metabolic shift. This constant metabolic roller coaster is a massive drain. It stealthily steals your precious physical energy. It primes your body to efficiently store dangerous visceral belly fat. And, most importantly, it sets you up for extremely poor, fragmented sleep later that night, guaranteeing you wake up feeling fundamentally tired and unrested again. It is a scientifically proven, vicious cycle that guarantees fatigue, causes stiffness, and accelerates joint pain. Let's talk concrete, avoidable examples. You might think a slice of white bread toast, maybe even a heavily marketed whole wheat slice, is a perfectly neutral choice. But if you eat that processed bread without the immediate, crucial, stabilizing presence of high-quality protein and fiber, you have already guaranteed a significant energy drain by 10 a.m. Understand this. The biggest energy theft you commit against your future self is eating processed high glycemic carbohydrates without nearly enough stabilizing protein. This mistake, repeated 365 days a year, is precisely what steals your mobility, weakens your foundation, and makes the simple act of climbing the stairs feel like scaling a significant mountain. The breakfast that immediately strengthens your legs in 24 hours. To aggressively reverse this chronic energy drain, we do not need a restrictive, complicated, or confusing diet plan. We require a simple, immediate power swap that prioritizes muscle and stability. We need a biofoundational breakfast that strengthens your legs and sharpens your mind in 24 hours. by efficiently feeding your vulnerable muscle tissue directly and keeping your blood glucose levels absolutely stable. Forget the sugar-spiking toast, forget the misleading sweet yogurt. Do this instead. Consume a substantial amount of high-quality protein, aim for 25-35 grams minimum, and healthy, nutrient-dense fat immediately upon waking up. Example 1. Savory. Scrambled eggs, 3 to 4 full eggs. Remember, the yolk contains critical choline and fat-soluble vitamins. Cooked exclusively in extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, paired with a small handful of nutrient-dense spinach or 1/3 of an avocado. Example 2. Quick fix. If you are severely short on time, prepare a targeted smoothie made with high-quality whey or collagen protein powder, a tablespoon of fiber-rich chia seeds, and a handful of antioxidant-loaded fresh berries. The protein signals immediate muscle synthesis, aggressively fighting sarcopenia. The healthy fat provides long-lasting, stable fuel without the crash, and the fiber dramatically slows down any residual glucose absorption. When your glucose is stable and steady, your energy is consistent, your systemic inflammation drops dramatically, and your body can finally start allocating resources to repairing itself, including those tired, aching tendons and joints. Nutrition target: 7 categories of foods to immediately abandon. After 60, the goal here is precision avoidance. We are cutting the single most known inflammatory triggers that silently and persistently erode your vitality, cognitive function, and structural health. When you purposefully eliminate these 7 critical categories, you immediately clear the metabolic sludge that has been slowing you down for years. 1. The hidden sugar bombs, low-fat flavored yogurts, and dairy products. For years, you bought these because they were labeled low-fat or fat-free, genuinely thinking you were making a healthy choice. But the flavor stolen by removing the fat was replaced with concentrated sugar, often cheap metabolic toxins like high-fructose corn syrup or artificial sweeteners that profoundly mess with your delicate gut microbiome. What they do. These are direct, aggressive glucose spikes and insulin challenges cleverly disguised as health food. They provide zero lasting satiety and are a major active contributor to chronic, pervasive inflammation and insulin resistance. Forget the low-fat fruit-on-the-bottom yogurt containers. Do. Switch immediately to full-fat Greek yogurt or skyr, always unsweetened, mixed naturally with fresh blueberries and a sprinkle of raw walnuts or almonds. The necessary fat provides satiety and aids in the absorption of critical fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K. The dramatically higher protein content actively defends your precious muscle mass. 2. The inflammatory oils, highly processed vegetable and seed oils. I am specifically talking about soybean, corn, cottonseed, grapeseed, and canola oil, especially those ubiquitous oils found heavily processed in snacks, cheap salad dressings, and virtually all deep-fried restaurant foods. These oils are chemically extracted and are typically sky-high in unstable omega-6 fatty acids. When consumed in the massive excess common in modern Western diets, they rapidly shift your essential omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, effectively pouring synthetic fuel directly onto the fire of chronic inflammation in every cell of your body. What they do. They actively drive systemic inflammation throughout your body, which directly contributes to everything from debilitating joint pain and stiffness to accelerated cardiovascular issues and cognitive deterioration. Forget cooking your meals with cheap chemically extracted vegetable oil. Do. Cook almost exclusively with stable, heart-healthy fats, extra virgin olive oil for low to medium heat, high-heat avocado oil, or buttered char ghee sourced from grass-fed cows. 3. The empty energy, highly processed white flour products, bagels, rolls, standard cereal. We already extensively covered the breakfast bread mistake. This extends to all highly refined white flours that have been stripped of the vital bran and germ components. Nutritionally, these processed products are chemically and metabolically similar to pure table sugar when your body metabolizes them quickly. What they do. They rapidly spike glucose, accelerate fat storage, especially around the midsection, and contribute absolutely zero meaningful micronutrients or stabilizing fiber. They are the textbook definition of empty calories that lead to chronic hunger, constant energy dips, and inevitable weight gain. Forget the standard supermarket loaf that lasts 2 weeks on the shelf. Do opt for true, traditional, slow-fermented sourdough. The crucial fermentation process significantly lowers the glycemic impact. Or dense whole-grain loaves, and always, without exception, pair them with high protein like hummus, smoked salmon, or eggs. 4. The caffeine saboteur, late afternoon, evening coffee. Coffee itself, consumed black without sugar or creamers, is a potent, healthy beverage with strong antioxidant properties. The profound mistake is timing. Caffeine has a physiological half-life of 5 to 6 hours. This means if you drink a regular coffee at 3 p.m., half that stimulant caffeine is still actively circulating in your nervous system at 8 p.m. What it does: it fundamentally fragments your critical sleep architecture. It prevents you from achieving deep restorative slow-wave sleep, SWS, and crucial REM sleep. SWS is the essential phase when your brain cleans out metabolic waste products, such as amyloid plaques strongly linked to Alzheimer's and other dementias, and your body repairs tissue. Poor, shallow sleep is the fastest known track to rapid cognitive decline and chronic zero energy the following day. Forget that automatic 4 p.m. espresso or the large iced coffee. Do establish an ironclad cutoff for all caffeine intake by 12 p.m., 1 p.m. at the absolute latest. If you genuinely need a lift in the afternoon, switch to calming herbal tea or simply filtered water with a pinch of quality sea salt for natural electrolytes and hydration. Winning hook. If you find yourself in the absolutely necessary situation of having a second-half coffee, add this one ingredient immediately: a scoop of unflavored collagen peptides. It dramatically slows the absorption rate of the caffeine, provides direct protein for muscle maintenance, and helps stabilize the energy curve, mitigating the crash. 5. The deceptive snack, dried fruit and fruit juices. The familiar staples: dried cranberries, common raisins, or large soft dates. They appear natural, they taste intensely sweet, and you assume they are inherently healthier than synthetic candy. The core problem is volume and concentration. When fruit is dried, the water content is removed, concentrating the natural sugar, fructose, into small, easily overeaten pellets or thick syrups. What they do: they deliver massive, rapid doses of fructose directly to your liver, violently spiking your blood sugar and potentially increasing uric acid levels, which is actively linked to pervasive inflammation, gout flare-ups, and even worsening cognitive issues. Forget the large handful of raisins or the fruit cup filled with juice concentrate. Do switch entirely to fresh whole berries, especially blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. They are inherently high in fiber, naturally lower in sugar, and aggressively packed with necessary antioxidants that protect vital organs like the retina. This links directly to the concept of targeted fruit before bed to actively repair your eyes. A small bowl of fresh, dark blueberries consumed 1 hour before sleep provides natural melatonin and the precise nutrients, anthocyanins, needed for retinal health and repair. Concerned about cataracts? Eat this specific vegetable daily. A small amount of fresh spinach or kale, consumed raw or very lightly steamed, which is incredibly rich in the essential carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. 6. The sodium bomb, commercial canned soups and broths. If you grab a can of soup or a heavily marketed bone broth carton off the shelf for a seemingly quick, healthy lunch, you are usually consuming staggering, unnecessary amounts of sodium and often hidden sugar or processed synthetic thickeners. This excessive load places immediate, measurable burdens on your cardiovascular system and dramatically accelerates hypertension, high blood pressure. What they do: Excess sodium intake causes rapid fluid retention, elevates blood pressure, and puts profound, unnecessary stress on your heart and kidneys over time. Forget the store-bought bone broth that comes in a box loaded with sodium and preservatives. Do. Make your own simple chicken or vegetable stock at home. It is dramatically cheaper, tastes far superior, and you retain absolute control over the sodium content. Don't overpay for bone broth, which is often expensive and sometimes inconsistent in quality. Instead, buy cheap collagen-rich cuts of chicken or beef, necks, shanks, joint bones, and simmer them slowly with fresh vegetables and herbs. You extract all the natural collagen, minerals, and flavor without the factory processing, preservatives, or sodium load. 7. The processed cheese singles, the 4 worst cheeses to abandon. Not all cheese is detrimental. In fact, whole, full-fat, minimally processed cheeses can be truly excellent, dense sources of protein, healthy fat, and bioavailable calcium. But highly processed, individually wrapped cheese singles are chemical delivery systems, not actual biologically recognizable food. They are often full of synthetic emulsifiers, artificial colors, stabilizers, and excessive sodium. The 4 worst cheeses to strictly avoid: American singles, Kraft Dairy Lee, Velveeta-style bricks, commercial cheese spreads, and highly processed spray cheeses. What they do: they contribute synthetic fillers, unnecessary calories, and excessive sodium that your body has to work overtime, inefficiently, to process and eliminate. Do. Stick exclusively to simple, minimally processed, real varieties: cottage cheese, and absolute protein, powerhouse, creamy feta, fresh goat cheese, chèvre, and hard, traditional Parmigiano Reggiano. The storage mistakes: do not refrigerate. These 9 healthy foods. We spend significant time discussing what to eat, but how you store these essential foods dramatically determines their flavor, texture, nutrient density, and ultimate shelf life. Most people consistently ruin perfectly good, healthy ingredients by mistakenly putting them in the fridge when they absolutely should not. If you want your ingredients to perform optimally, delivering maximum flavor and full nutritional value, you need to understand and respect the natural environment they require. Here are 9 common healthy foods you must stop refrigerating immediately. 1. Tomatoes. Cold air actively breaks down the internal membranes inside the fruit, irreversibly ruining the texture and making them mushy, grainy, and bland. It also instantly halts the final ripening process, robbing them of their complex, natural flavor. Keep them on the counter, stem side up, away from direct sunlight. 2. Potatoes. Refrigeration converts the starch in potatoes to sugar significantly faster than room temperature storage, resulting in a gritty texture and an unpleasantly sweet flavor when cooked. Keep them in a cool, dark, dry place, like a pantry or basement. 3. Onions. Cold, damp air turns cut or whole onions soft, mushy, and moldy quickly. Store them loosely in a basket or net bag in a cool, dry place. Critically, keep them physically separated from potatoes, as they both release gases that accelerate spoilage in the other. 4. Garlic. Putting whole garlic bulbs in the fridge encourages premature sprouting, making the cloves rubbery, reducing their potent flavor, and diminishing their medicinal compounds. Store in a dry, room temperature environment with good air circulation. 5. Coffee beans, grounds. Coffee is highly porous and aromatic. Refrigeration causes damaging condensation, which ruins the rich flavor, and the grounds will readily absorb every strong smell inside your fridge, e.g., leftover curry, last night's fish. Store in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature. 6. Avocados, unripe. If you desire a hard avocado to fully ripen, the refrigerator is the single biggest enemy. Refrigeration completely halts the natural ripening process. Keep hard avocados on the counter. Once they are perfectly ripe, you can refrigerate them briefly to slow down further spoiling. 7. Basil. This delicate herb wilts, darkens, and bruises rapidly when exposed to cold temperatures below 40 degrees Celsius. Treat it like a small bouquet of flowers. Trim the stems and place them immediately in a glass of water on the counter, loosely covered with a plastic bag to maintain humidity. 8. Honey. While honey will virtually never spoil due to its low moisture content, refrigeration dramatically speeds up the crystallization process, making it chunky, cloudy, and exceptionally difficult to use or measure. Keep it conveniently in the pantry. 9. Bread. Putting bread in the refrigerator actually accelerates the process of stalling, technically called retrogradation of starches. It becomes dry and tough, losing its appealing texture very quickly. Store it at room temperature for short-term use, 2 days, or optimally, freeze it immediately for long-term storage. These targeted nutrition swaps and immediate storage fixes are profoundly powerful because they give you instantaneous, actionable control over the quality of fuel and nutrient density going into your body. But high-quality fuel alone is insufficient to halt decline. We must actively fortify the engine, the muscles. Trafrisan, the movement mandate. Why 10 minutes of precision? Trumps the treadmill. You can eat perfectly with metabolic precision, but if you do not consistently use your muscles against resistance, your body registers them like unnecessary metabolic baggage and initiates the process of dismantling them. This is the mechanism of sarcopenia. It doesn't just make you physically weak and prone to falling, it fundamentally destroys your metabolic health, because muscle is the primary, most efficient engine for glucose disposal in your entire body. When people over 60 decide to suddenly get fit, they often jump straight to long, repetitive walks or high-impact activities, like jogging, which frequently lead to joint pain, injury, and rapid burnout. That is impulse training, and it structurally hurts the knees and hips. I want you to instead focus on functional stability and controlled tension. This is effective strength training without the heavy joint-compressing weights, focused exclusively on balance, the core stabilizers, and the immense power of your hips and glutes. This is surgeon-approved toe movement because it emphasizes total joint integrity, controlled stability, and a full, functional range of motion needed for daily life. I want to introduce a highly concentrated 10-minute routine rooted in the principles of controlled, static, and negative strength found in certain Japanese movements and physical therapy protocols, specifically designed to rapidly rebuild your balance foundation and profoundly protect your knees and lower back. The 10-minute Legs of Steel protocol. This entire routine requires only 3 simple things: a sturdy, stable chair, a wall, and a single stair or low step. Remember, precision of execution always trumps pace or speed. We are building joint resilience and muscle quality, not desperately chasing sweat or breathlessness. Safety. First. Listen intently to your body. If you feel any sharp, unusual pain, stop immediately and adjust the range of motion. Adapt this protocol aggressively to your current mobility level. Always consult your physician or physical therapist before starting any new routine, especially if you have an existing medical condition. Take medications that affect balance or have had recent joint surgery. Warm-up, 2 minutes. 1. Ankle mobility circles, 30 seconds per ankle. Sit or stand holding a chair or counter for balance. Lift 1 foot slightly off the floor. Slowly rotate the ankle 10 times fully clockwise, then 10 times fully counterclockwise. This warms the joint capsule, improves proprioception, and enhances reaction time, which is absolutely crucial for preventing dangerous falls. 2. Gentle hip swings, 1 minute total. Hold a wall or sturdy chair. Gently swing one leg forward and backward 10 times, keeping the knee soft and the movement controlled. Then, swing that same leg slowly side to side 10 times. Switch legs and repeat the full sequence. This effectively loosens the deep hip flexors and stabilizers, critical muscles for free, uninhibited walking. Nahi debris. The core routine. 6 minutes. Perform each functional movement for 45 seconds of continuous tension, followed by 15 seconds of active rest. Transition to the next station. 1. The controlled chair stand, the sarcopenia stopper. Technique. Sit tall on the very edge of a sturdy, stable chair, feet placed shoulder-width apart. Lean your chest slightly forward, aggressively engaging your core, and stand straight up without using your hands, if your current mobility allows. This immediately activates the posterior chain, glutes and hamstrings, which are often dormant. The power move, negative tension. Instead of collapsing or flopping back down, lower yourself back onto the chair, painfully slowly. Aim for a 3 to 4 second count to sit. Fight gravity hard. This controlled negative, eccentric tension builds muscle fibers rapidly and safely, making you stronger instantly. Feel it. A deep, satisfying burn in the front of the quads and the glutes. Breathing. Inhale deeply on the way down. Exhale forcefully as you stand up. 2. The single leg stand, the balance protector. Technique. Stand securely near a counter or wall for necessary support. Shift your entire body weight fully to one foot. Lift the other foot slightly, aiming to hold this stationary position for the full 45 seconds. Keep your standing knee slightly soft, not locked, and your core tightly engaged. Progression. As your stability improves, lightly lift 1 or 2 fingers off the support surface. Then, try lightly closing one eye to challenge the inner ear. The profound goal is to stabilize the micromuscles in your foot, ankle, and hip complex, which are the real fall preventers. Focus. Fix your visual gaze on one unmoving spot on the wall, a technique widely used in dance and martial arts for maintaining stillness. 3. The wall-supported squat, the knee-safe endurance builder. Technique. Stand with your back pressed flat against a wall, feet shoulder-width apart, placed about 18 inches away from the wall. Slowly slide straight down until your hips are approximately parallel with your knees, forming a perfect 90-degree chair shape. Your hands can rest lightly on your hips. Avoid. Never slide down too low. If you feel any sharp compressive pain in the knee joint, never allow your knees to collapse inward toward each other. Hold. Hold the static position for the full 45 seconds. This isometric contraction builds massive impact-free strength in your quadriceps and glutes, fortifying the knee capsule. 4. The functional step-up, the Stairmaster. Technique. Find the lowest, most stable step or stair in your house, or use a solid yoga block. Step up deliberately with your right foot, aggressively engaging your glute muscle to drive your body upward. Bring the left foot to meet the right foot on the step. The crucial step, controlled negative. Step down slowly and deliberately with the left foot, controlling the entire descent, again focusing on that crucial slow negative movement. Repeat this precise rhythm, right up, left down, for 45 seconds without rushing. Switch. Rest 15 seconds, then immediately repeat the entire sequence for 45 seconds, leading strongly with the opposite foot, left up, right down. Cool down, 2 minutes. 1. Seated hamstring forward fold, 30 seconds per side. Sit comfortably on the edge of the chair. Extend one leg straight out in front of you, heel on the floor. Gently fold forward at the hip until you feel a light, pleasant stretch in the hamstring. Hold the stretch for 30 seconds, then switch legs. Dau. Figure 4. Hip stretch, 1 minute total. While sitting, cross one ankle over the opposite knee, if your current mobility allows. Sit up very straight and press gently downward on the bent knee until you feel a significant stretch deep in the glute or hip area. Hold for 30 seconds, then switch sides. This profoundly opens the hips, which stiffen dramatically and restrict movement rapidly after 60. This focused 10-minute routine, done consistently 3-4 times a week, is not just better than aimless walking. For retaining critical muscle mass, it is absolutely foundational to maintaining autonomy. It is about using your own body weight to create metabolic demand and stability, ensuring that your legs remain powerful, dependable, and strong enough to carry you freely through every decade ahead. The autonomy of aging. If you are justifiably concerned about the specters of dementia, stroke, or general cognitive decline, you must understand this undeniable truth. These conditions rarely appear in a vacuum. They are overwhelmingly the culmination of years of unchecked vascular damage and pervasive silent inflammation eating away at your brain tissue and blood vessels. Every single food swap we have meticulously discussed, cutting processed sugar, increasing targeted healthy fats, boosting antioxidant intake, is a direct, non-negotiable defense against cognitive decline and vascular damage. Medications certainly play a vital, necessary role in complex health management, but it is ethically responsible to mention that certain medications, particularly some strong anticholinergics, used for bladder or allergy issues, and long-term sedative sleep aids, have been consistently and responsibly linked by published research to potentially worsening memory and significantly increasing long-term dementia risk in susceptible individuals. If you are currently taking any medication and have concerns about memory, you must immediately talk to your doctor about alternatives, dosage adjustments, or potential side effects. You are the CEO of your own health. Ask the hard questions and demand clear answers. Your precious autonomy, your unburdened ability to live precisely where you want, travel how you want, and remember clearly who you love and why, rests not on the latest pharmaceutical breakthrough or the newest gadget, but squarely on the daily, simple, powerful choices you make in your kitchen and during your 10 minutes of targeted movement. You possess the immediate power to reverse chronic decline and rebuild lost vitality using cheap, high-protein foods, smart, strategic swaps, and focused, controlled movement. It is fast, it is surprisingly simple to implement, and you can start the profound journey today. The challenge. Start today. Forget overwhelming, unsustainable goals. We start with 2 surgical precision strikes that guarantee immediate results. Your mission for the next 24 hours. No excuses. 1. Nutrition swap. Eliminate processed, highly inflammatory vegetable oils, soybean, canola, corn oil, from your pantry and kitchen entirely. Or, if you must eat out, prioritize dishes cooked unambiguously in olive oil or butter. This is a non-negotiable metabolic intervention. Bitradu. Movement. Swap. Complete the full 10-minute legs of steel protocol exactly as written above. Focus specifically and intensely on the controlled, excruciatingly slow, 4-second descent of the controlled chair stand. Feel the deep foundational power returning to your quads and glutes. The resulting difference in raw energy, reduction in joint pain, and improvement in mental clarity will fundamentally shock you and prove the potential of this approach. Aging is absolutely not the opposite of strength. The true opposite of strength, vitality, and longevity is stagnation. What is the first powerful change you are implementing today? The critical food swap or the 10-minute movement protocol? And what topic do you want me to cover in the next piece? Advanced specific sleep techniques to clear amyloid plaques, or a deep dive on the 7 cheap, high-protein functional foods you should eat daily? Let me know. Let's get to work and claim your vitality.